I remember being so excited when I saw that, saw the first, the Bryant house, I think, and then the one with the big butterfly roof in the art records and PAs and everything like that. It seemed to. I just think that the architecture was so exciting and so raw, and so powerful. I think even obviously the editors of those trade magazines saw it too. I mean, that was really impressive to me, and I just I just honestly dropped everything because I knew what I was doing was really not exactly what I'd wanted to do. I got into architecture by designing and building, and that was what was exciting to me, and I recognized that that was I'd lost it completely. I mean, I was just sitting there drawing and handing it off, and having somebody, having the production group put it together, and then I'd be on to the next thing. And I wasn't seeing something all the way through, and maybe that's part of it. I mean, when you get into these big firms, you're not even, it doesn't even have to be big, but you go through you miss out on the CA. Maybe you're going out on construction administration occasionally or something, but usually that's handed off. You're just sort of doing the design or doing the production or doing the rainmaking or whatever it is. And to see those projects, honestly, they were so powerful to me. And everybody else must have had the same reaction. I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, honestly, I just dropped everything and said, I've got to do this. This is, I'm going to dedicate the rest of my time to doing this project, because it's along the lines of what I was interested in and I'm interested in. And I think probably anybody who's interested in architecture is interested in seeing a project totally all the way through, and that's what I think excites the students actually to start, design a project, and then actually build it and finish it. Oftentimes, I think one of the things that we're working on diligently is to try to actually get to the real finish work during one semester, and that's tough. I mean, we've had a difficult time doing that. We generally have a few interns stay over the summertime and get to do a lot of the really exciting work, which is the final finishes of everything. So, maybe that's the best way I can explain it. Is those pictures popped out. So I had to go down and see them and see Sambo. I just knew I had to go meet Sambo. And I knew that he was going to teach me. He didn't, he was just more of a mentor type, really, and just said, "Hey, go do your own program." I went down and just hung out a little bit and wanted to see how the rural studio worked. And then, Sam said, "Go do your own project, man. It's time. You got to do it. You got to agitate. You got to cajole." I love those words that he was using at those times. You got to stick it to this academic bureaucracy. And so that excited me, because I went to school in the '60s and struck and did everything. I'd shut the schools down, and that's sort of in my blood anyway. And like John McCain, the Maverick. I like to feel that way, the Maverick. No, I'm just joking. It's interesting. I am sort of that person at the school. At the very beginning, certain theoretical professors were saying, how can anybody learn anything by going and pounding nails? We'd have these big arguments around the table with the faculty, and they couldn't see any reason why we should even do this. And that one professor has actually become our biggest proponent since he's come down and seen what we've accomplished. So that's been nice. And then there's also a lot of territorialism in the academic world, and I really do get the best students and they're angry about losing the best students really for about a whole year, really, because their minds are already into it in the fall, and it seems to me like they're less interested in anything than they are in DesignBuildBLUFF and doing design. And then obviously when they come down here, they're not at school, and the other professors get a little pissed off about that. No, I think that's totally, in my mind, I mean, this what's just happened, and it may not be relevant to what you guys are talking about, but what's just happened in this last election to me, that proves to me that it's rolling back. I mean, I truly believe that everything runs in a sort of a sine curve way, and I feel like this next group, this next crop of this next generation of, what do they call it, Generation V or something, or Generation Virtual, I think really is becoming more and more involved socially, and especially given the economic concerns right now, what all those me decades have done to us. I mean, it's really sort of put us in an awful position, and I think I'm feeling like the students are thinking more along the lines of when I went to school, back in the late 60s, early 70s, when we really were, shutting down the war, trying to shut down the war, shutting down schools, really, being activated, being agitated, being, trying to do whatever they can and to make the world a better place, I think. And then I don't know, I'm not a real student of what happened there. Maybe it just became too democratized. Education, I think, became probably too democratized. There was a backlash against that whole movement, probably, and then we got lost. But I think if you just look at what just happened, with Obama against, his landslide victory. I mean, that really was caused by an upsurge, I think, of this next generation. This kid's really thinking, hey, come on, we got a voice. We need to make our voice heard. And I think that sort of, I'm hopeful that portends into what our program becomes too. I think we'll get more and more students like that. And it's actually maybe even shows, as I said, this year they chose this Susie Whitehorse, who probably in other years might not have been chosen because she's not that adept at with English, I think, and the students previously would need something like that, would need that connection in order to make that selection. But this year they selected purely on need.